Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. For those that think they can't move on and recover, there is life after infidelity. Part 2. So after 5 years of NC with her, I'm returning with some fresh information on how the encounter with C went. And boy, did things get a little dirty. And I went to her parents' place for a celebration of her young cousin. It's your birthday. I couldn't figure out why she was so happy at first, but he was her favorite cousin, and he taught her how to play the piano, so I think she wanted to show him off. The man was also really cool and a beast on those keys. The party was fantastic, and everyone was having a nice time. Now we're chatting to her parents, and her father was still joking about wedding dates with us. Everything was going swimmingly until I saw the old circle with C as their conductor through the throng. I was astounded by how well she still looked. She still had the chuckle I used to like, and she was becoming the focus of attention. I wasn't quite ready to face her yet, so I looked aside so she wouldn't see me. After a few more hours, the party is winding down and everyone is preparing to go. I says she'll be right back and goes to the restroom, leaving me to chat to some folks who inquire about my graphic design skills. After a few seconds, we are all summoned from her living room. C and R are having a screaming battle on the backyard patio, almost coming to blows, all while their older sister is attempting to calm them both down. C begins ranting on about how I was taken from her and how I had no right to pursue me since sisters don't pursue one another's lovers. Then you should have left your legs closed, I yelled back. C shoves her elder sister out of the way and tries to swing at her, but blocks it and was ready to knock her down until I stepped in between them. This was plenty for me. I was sick of witnessing the lady I loved and her ex, her sister, at one another's throats. This stuff was coming to an end. I pushed it to the side, checked A, and shouted at C. What the hell is wrong with you? Hello, this is your little sister. She suddenly broke out of it, and as she looks at me, for the first time in years, she whispers, her voice quivering, you came. From the living room to the garden, everyone's gaze was fixed on us. I felt terrible for their parents because they were so ashamed. Her eyes welled up, and she requested if we could speak about it. I knew there was no turning back, so I immediately said okay, but only on the condition that it remain with me. She attempted to explain that she wanted us to discuss alone, but I told her that this was not going to happen. Either she stayed or I walked. It didn't make a difference to me. I wanted it to remain since I don't have any secrets to tell her. She had opened up to me so much that I couldn't keep her out of this, not with her own family. She is now a member of my family, and she deserved to be a part of this. We made our way to the pool area when the conversation started as follows. So, what's the deal? C. You're in excellent shape. Blue was always your favorite color, and it still is. It's wonderful to see you once again. I'm not going to fall for her trap, but I'll be nice. Thank you very much. What exactly is going on here? What exactly do you want? C. I understand that I don't deserve anything from you, but I just wanted you to know that I had been thinking about what I had done to you for a long time. You were so kind to me, and I completely botched up the situation. Believe me when I say that I have no clue what I was thinking when I did what I was doing. Me? That's an obvious lie, and you're fully aware that you're telling it. C then starts to shake and moan, and ultimately stops. C, I'm not sure how much of this you're aware of, but App and I were married and had a kid. I gave her the name because I thought it was appropriate. I was starting to become agitated. After 3 years of marriage, we spoke about the name we'd like to give our first son or daughter. Elkin, if you're a young buck. If you happen to be a female, I grew up with an aunt named, who was a big fan of C when we were little. Even I was taken aback by the fact that she continues to name her kid after my grandmother, which caused me to get enraged for a time. I have a sneaking suspicion that C did not tell the baby's name to her family before giving her away. I felt a warm embrace around my hand as I stroked it. We looked at each other for a moment before C cleared her throat and gave her sister a scathing gaze. C, how is it that she is still here? This is just between the two of us. We don't exist in the first place, believe it or not. And I have been dating for a year and 2 months. The 3 years I spent with you were nothing compared to what that meant to me. I turned to gaze at her. She is just wonderful, and I want to have a long-term relationship with her. I was sobbing and grinning at me, and she was grasping my hand strongly in her hands. It felt a bit uncomfortable, to be honest. Whatever you say to me, you also say to her, so be careful what you say. See, She's had a thing for you for a long time. She used to write love poems and read them to her stuffed animals while you pretended to be at home, which was very entertaining. No, you're not supposed to be with her. You're supposed to be with me instead. Me? Smiling at her. You wrote poetry about me, didn't you? Do you mind if I have a look? They're really lame, a heated face said. Me? Please allow me to serve as the arbitrator. We are being cut off by C. Look, I know you're conspiring with her in order to damage me, and I'm going to take you out with an eye for an eye. Is it possible for us to just restart, you with my sister, and me with Ab? I'm feeling a lot better right now. Please accept my sincere apologies for making such a dreadful error. I'm just a normal person. People make errors, but I've learned to be a better person as a result of my blunders. I'm certain that I can restore your trust. Please allow me to put things right. Will you at the very least provide that courtesy to me? I swear there are stones embedded in this girl's body. I had at the end of my rope at this point. Me, years ago, you squandered it when you decided to betray me, especially on Valentine's Day. No, you must hear this. For the next 5 years, I kept asking myself, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I sufficient? It took some serious soul searching to realize that the issue wasn't falling in love with you, but rather being dazzled by you. I let our relationship blind me to who you really were and why your previous lovers never stayed around. You're completely depleted, always yearning for someone to fill that empty glass within you. You've never found out what you're looking for. I'm not going to be another pouring into your glass. I honestly thought seeing you would be more difficult than this, but I no longer care about you. I spent a lot of time with new people, new activities, and new locations to help me recover. We had a good time, but we've grown apart. I don't recognize the girl I grew up with when I look at you. Just someone who has to get their act together. I've discovered my one and only. And the letter is A. I adore your little sister. And I'm hoping that one day, when the moment is perfect, we'll get married. Do you want to make amends with me? Be a more responsible sister. Stop fighting and get your stuff together. You were once her hero. Begin by attempting to recoup those points, and then go from there. C was in tears and trembling like if she had been hit by a bomb. She knew right then and there that this was the end of whatever reunion she had planned. She was attempting to say something, but she eventually sealed her lips and nodded her head to me as if accepting it. She then requested to talk with her alone and summoned her eldest sister. As a result, I gave them some room. All of the sisters sobbed and held each other. At the conclusion, I believe they finally reached an agreement. Their mother, who was watching them, looked at me with tears in her eyes, grasping my hand, and began thanking me. Their father also thanked me and gave me a hearty embrace. This whole situation was overwhelming. I sobbed in my arms when it was finished. She continued thanking me and said that C had given us her blessing and that she loved me. She also asked if it was okay if she remained with her sisters, at home with the family for a bit, stating they needed to finally completely catch up, to which I replied that it was okay. She urgently needs this. I instructed her to call me when she was ready. Those poems are still owed to me by her. I finally came home to write this. Oh my goodness, what a day. But I'm feeling better. Truly outstanding. I got my piece and assisted my GF's family in beginning the lengthy line of repairs. I never believed I'd receive this, but I did. With my sunglasses on, I can continue to look forward to a better future. To all the women and gentlemen across the globe and on this sub who are reading my narrative, I want to remind you that life does not end with heartbreak. You must keep pushing, no matter how difficult it seems. Always aim for greater and never settle with second best. We're not backup plans. We have these scars as memories of how we overcame the worst suffering and turned it into a power. I realize how trite and silly that sounds, but time, patience, and good company can make a world of difference. It's never too late to start. You are deserving. We are all. Thrive, my friends, thrive. This may be my last article, but thank you so much for reading it, and please accept my apologies for the length. I didn't want to leave anything out. Everyone sends forth positive thoughts.